Hi, I'm Adriana from Enlightened Birth and Beyond, and I'm here again with Sam and her beautiful Raph. Poor little Raph's almost had enough, but we're almost there.
He's been teething, so it's, haven't you, buddy? Hey? I know, mate, I know.
And he would really like the cord for the microphone.
Yes, he would.
So we're here today, and we just want to have a bit of a chat about postpartum, like what to expect, I guess, postpartum, postnatally. Do you want to share your experience, Sam?
I do. So this is something that I'm really passionate about. That I've started a parents group at my salon because of
Vintage Vibe.
Vintage Vibe. Yeah. Purely because of what's happened to me, and I really want to support other parents. So before I tell you my story, I've actually had OCD and anxiety most of my life. I got diagnosed in my early 20s. So I know what anxiety and OCD is like, but when I had Raph, it just was completely like different. It hit me in a way more intense way. And it was not expected. I actually was Googling what like my thoughts were because I was like, oh my God, I'm a lunatic. Like, what is wrong with me? And so I reckon it would have been about the third night, fourth day, I just started to feel this intense fear that I would lose control, that something would happen to Raph. It was around the time when that woman in Queensland killed her children and then herself, and I just was so terrified that something in my mind would click and I'd hurt him. And I just was like, why do I feel like this? It's the furthest thing away from what I would ever do to like anything, especially my own child. And so I ended up Googling like intrusive thoughts, and it's very, very common, extremely common.
Yes.
And so you don't necessarily have to have anxiety first to get postnatal anxiety. You can just get postnatal anxiety. And if I'd known more in depth, like what this was beforehand, I think it definitely would have helped me manage it like when it was happening. Because at that time, I remember one day I was feeding Raph and Rob was outside working on the car, and I was just wiping his face after I'd fed him. And in that moment, I'd felt like I was smothering him, and I said to Rob, I was like, you need to come inside. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared of what's happening. Like, what am I doing to him? And Rob's like, Sam, you're just wiping his face. You're like, nothing's wrong. Yeah. But in my mind, I was smothering him, and I just couldn't, I was just hysterical. And it kind of all started like that because I couldn't breastfeed. So I was trying to breastfeed him, and one night he was screaming, absolutely screaming his lungs out, and I couldn't work out why. And luckily our friends had said to us, go get some formula just in case. So I had a can of formula, and I went and made some up, and Rob was holding him, and I gave Rob a bottle, and straight away, just like that, out like a light. It was because I couldn't produce the milk. And I was shattered. It just destroyed my soul, not being able to breastfeed. And that's what triggered my anxiety. So the fear of not being able to take care of him and letting him down. As simple as breastfeeding right up to like, ridiculous thoughts like what I was having. It just, the overwhelming feeling of wanting to take care of your child is something that you can't experience until you've had one.
100%.
It's just the love and the protection and everything that the hormone change as your body starts to go back to normal. It's just intense. So once this all happened to me, I actually went to my GP and so devastated. Dr. Murphy had gone to the UK for personal reasons. So I had to tell this story to a complete stranger. Yeah. And I was in tears, like a doctor. I was in absolute tears. And he was like to me, you know what, Sam? He's like, this is completely normal. He's like, I can tell that nothing's going to happen. It's just in your head. So he's like, here's Panda's like number. He's like, give Panda a call. Best thing I've ever done. Best thing I have ever done for myself. So I rang Panda, and again, in tears on the phone, telling them this story. And they said to me, intrusive thoughts come from a place of protection and love. They're just amplified, and your brain misconstrues things. So people have intrusive thoughts every day, but when it's about something that you care about so much, it's brought forward to the front of your mind. And so things that you would pass through, you don't pass through. It kind of gets stuck. And then because I've got OCD, it just goes around and around and around and around. So I was intensive care with PANDA, weekly phone calls, probably for about 4.5 months. And I also had my psychologist, his name's Matthew Pedler, bloody amazing. I've had him for 10 years. He's helped me with my OCD and anxiety for that long. And I've actually just finished with him as well. So he feels that I'm well enough now to be able to manage on my own with my tools, and I am on medication. So I see Dr. Murphy roughly once a month, and then I don't see my psychologist anymore. But I'm telling you right now, if you have mental health issues, or you're struggling in postnatal, anything, depression, anxiety, one, it's normal, 100%. What you're feeling is normal. That is something that I have to stress. And two, if you need help, go and get it. Hey, go and get it. You need it, don't you?
Because it's so important. Like, you're so worth it. Not just for yourself, but for baby as well and your family.
Yeah,
you all matter.
You do. And just to be a good parent, you need to be well. And to get well, you need to get help. And now that I know what's happening and like what happened and how to manage it, so much better, so much easier. And the medication just balanced out. Hey, mate, what's the matter? It just balanced out the chemicals in my brain. So, yeah, so I was able to rationalise my thoughts better. Yep. So that's what my medication does. Is that Peter? So that's why I started my parents group at my salon, so at Vintage Vibes. So if you do struggle mentally, if you have any questions, if you need the extra support, please get into contact with us.
I will put the link, when I work out how YouTube works, I will put the link in here.
So that I can help people go through, like, you know, in a positive way what I went through, because like, it's normal. Everything you think, every single thing you think and feel is normal. Don't keep it to yourself. Get the help and support you need. That's my biggest piece of advice for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, perinatal anxiety and depression. So perinatal meaning while you're pregnant and for the year afterwards is super common. So 1 in 5 women, and importantly as well, 1 in 10 dads.
Yeah, and so, partners. They do, because it's a big life change for them as well. Like becoming a dad is a huge thing, because you don't get that connection like mums do, you know, with the pregnancy and that. So it's just boom, there's a baby and they're responsible for that baby.
Absolutely.
Hey?
So keeping an eye out for your loved ones.
Yeah.
Anyone you know that's pregnant, having babies, keeping an eye out for both parents.
Yep.
You know, birthing person and partner. And encouraging to get in touch with PANDA. And again, I will be trying to do the link below or wherever here somewhere.
Shannon, if you're watching this, you're amazing, and I cannot thank you enough. Shannon was my carer through my PANDA care, and like such a beautiful woman, and helped me so much to accept myself and to accept what's happened to me, and to be more understanding and compassionate. So 100% worth ringing PANDA. And it's funny because you think, oh my God, they're going to take my child away from me. There's this and there's that. None of that. It's so common that they just want you to be well. That's all they want. So, yep.
And it's going to be better for you to get the help sooner rather than later. And we don't want you suffering. So
no, it's not worth suffering, is it, Raph? Hey?
No.
Hey, with your teeth? Your teethies are hurting.
They are.
It's okay. Oh, darling.
Where's Peter? Do you want Peter?
Here's Peter. Is that Peter?
B. Oh, B. So yes, get onto it.
Yes,
Look
get onto
after yourself.
Self-care is so important when you become a parent. Absolutely.
It takes on like a whole different level, but yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for sharing with us, Sam.
My pleasure. It's what I'm here for, to help promote positive birthing and aftercare, and just to make sure that everyone's happy and healthy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you later.